Hello colleagues, I hope you're doing well. My name is Henry Abramson. I'm a Dean at Touro College, and I'm also a member of the Faculty Renewal Task Force, which is led by Vice President Nadja Graf. The President, Dr. Kadish, gave us a charge in creating our report that was related very much to the Faculty Development and Evaluation Policy, FDEP, that required us to look carefully at what we meant by scholarship, because that goes into the entire process of figuring out exactly who we are and what do we value in our faculty. So I'd like to take a couple of minutes to go over the basics of what we understand by the term scholarship and how it is reflected in our report. There is a document on this subject which we have cleverly titled Scholarship Defined, which goes into the content of this video in considerably more detail, and I'd like to refer you to that document for further clarification. But for the purposes of our discussion, I'd like to just very quickly go through the four basic definitions of scholarship that we are working with and that you should consider in developing your own scholarship and in working with your unit as a whole. We are heavily reliant on the work of Ernest L. Boyer. He was a president of the Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching, and he recognized that the dichotomous placement of teaching versus research was not necessarily the best way to assess and especially to promote the activity that we engage in as scholars. He looked at the historical roots of this particular dichotomy, which was inextricably connected with industrialization and the advancement of the American society in the 20th century. But in reality, we have a much broader perspective, especially now that we live in times of great disruptive technologies like the internet. So let's look at the four types of scholarship that Boyer defined that we are going to be working with here. This will help us think much more productively in terms of the metrics we use when we assess our own work and of those of other people in our unit. So the first type of scholarship is the most traditional. It's called scholarship of discovery. And this basically refers to like new research that advances knowledge in specific subject areas. As a historian, that means digging into the archives, looking at new documents. It usually results in the creation of books and articles and other types of peer-reviewed publications. That's a scholarship of discovery, and that's basically what most of us understood when we use the term scholarship. But upon further and deeper reflection, we see there are really three other varieties of scholarship that are extremely important for the activities we engage in here in the Academy. The second is the scholarship of integration. This is characterized by evaluation, synthesis, analysis, and/or interpretation of research produced primarily by others. In the scholarship of application, this is the third category. This involves the translation of research so that it may be used by people who are impacted by its findings. Translating it down, stepping it down in voltage, so to speak, so that people with intelligence but without sufficient background can still grasp the essentials of the research. This has incredible social benefit, something we highly valorize as well. And it is related to the scholarship of engagement writ large, which is something that Boyer also wrote about extensively. Finally, the fourth category is scholarship of teaching. This looks more at what we are doing as teachers specifically, meaning we spend all this time gathering knowledge, preparing knowledge, and then how do we go about disseminating that knowledge? What are the vehicles, particularly in these changing, disruptive technology times? How do we go about giving that information to others in the most effective manner? The way that we are teaching nowadays in the 21st century is so radically different from, let's say, one or two generations back before the internet stepped in and changed everything. So this is relevant to all of us engaged in the mission of education. Now, these are the four categories. How do you measure them? Obviously, they need different metrics, and at this point, I'm just going to summarize very quickly and list the 6 basic metrics that could be used in the evaluation of each of these 4 types of scholarships. 1, are clear goals defined by the researcher? 2, is there adequate preparation to achieve those goals? 3, are appropriate research methods used? 4, are the results and/or outcomes meaningful? And is there a point to this? 5, were the results disseminated appropriately? And 6, did the scholar reflect and critically appraise the project? These are things which obviously a faculty member should do in consultation with the supervisor of the unit, extremely important to the whole FDEP procedure as a whole. So I want to once again turn you back to that scholarship defined document that we included in the Faculty Renewal Task Force. And I want to thank you very much for watching this short video, and I wish you tremendous success in your scholarship. Thank you very much.